Good morning, or afternoon. Oh my gosh, I can't even say the right time of day. You may hear some weird noises because my son's down in the backyard playing fetch with our old 15-year-old dog. Darcy picked up his tennis ball, which he found hiding behind a bunch of school bags I brought home that I haven't touched for a while because I already went through all the stuff in them. And grabbed his tennis ball like he's some 6-month-old puppy and was prancing about the house with it like, someone come play with me. So got the 8-year-old to take him out. My face is a little red. It's because I went on a run just a little while ago and came home and changed into regular clothes, and it's hot outside. It's like 80 degrees over here where I'm at. I don't know how it is where you guys are. I actually have shorts on. Like, this is the first time I've worn shorts since I think last summer. It's amazing. So I'm not drinking tea because I don't have iced tea. If I had iced tea, I would do that. So I'm drinking water. Water's good for you. Let's see. But don't drink ice water right after a run. I found that that's not good. Just drink regular, tap water, room temperature water. It's better. So a couple of things. I finished putting in all the attendance for today, which if you just do the assignment for the week and turn that in, that means on Friday when I go to grade those, give feedback, then I also mark you as having contact, so being present. So that's like the easiest way to get that because you kind of kill two birds with one stone. All those go into the grade book right now under miscellaneous zeros because I have to manually change grades for improvements for the new rating system. So I will just keep track of those. If you have specific questions like, what do I need to do to get whatever, then just, I guess, shoot me an email. My biggest piece of advice is if you want to see your grade improve as much as it can from where it was, you should do as much of the work as you can from here to the end. That's how you're going to see that happen, just kind of like normally in school. But the bigger difference is I just want to make sure you're doing the work and trying out what I'm asking you to do. AP Kids, I sent you guys a survey today, a link to that from Canvas. It looks like a quiz in Canvas, but it's actually a survey. One question, it's are you planning on taking the exam or not? So make sure you reply to that survey so I know who's still planning on taking the exam and who's not, because exams start next week, but ours isn't until the 20th. Ours is one of the last exams, which is very nice. What else? 10th grade. Let's see. What did I notice? Make sure you're completing the assignment. Most of you are doing that. There were just a few people who didn't complete the full assignment before submitting. So that's one thing I'm looking for when I'm thinking about where your grade should be for end of semester. I really don't want to deal with late work for this stuff because we've really simplified the lessons from here to the end. If you want to redo makeup work from before the closure, look at Skyward, see what you're missing that you have zeros for, and then email that stuff to me unless it's the discussion. You have until the 20th to make up that work. After that, it stays where it's at for all those assignments grades, and that's what I use to calculate your rating for the semester. I mentioned it's hot out here. Yeah. My body doesn't like the heat a whole lot, so I have to keep cooled off all the time. Isn't that true for everybody, though? So I thought I'd share with you guys my other pack of Star Wars cards. Because I did the special video for May the 4th, this was my other idea of something to do, was to show you these. But I had shown the blue pack, the Jedi pack, in one of the other videos, so I haven't looked at these yet. I just pulled these out of the box. I've not previewed what they look like. But on the case, you can see they've got the really cool Death Star stuff and Empire's logo and everything. And on the side, look, it says, "Now I am the master." And then it says, "The power of the dark side." I'm telling you, these are just so cool. If you know someone that likes playing cards or even just like Star Wars, I mean, it's just the detail work is way cool. on these. Okay. Here's the thing I don't know. I don't know if the cards themselves are any different. I think they're going to be the same on the inside. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time showing them to you like before because that's what I thought they would be. Yeah. Yeah, they're the same characters on the inside. So the faces of the cards look the same as last time. And if you missed the other one, it's like this ace has, sorry, turning it the wrong way, Millennium Falcon on it. This Joker is BB-8. Okay. The other Joker is that other, I can't remember what that one was called, the new one. This ace has the X-Wing on it. I don't know if you can see it with the sun and the shadows. So those are the same. You got like King of Spades is Vader. The part that's different is the packaging for the case, and then of course the red back for him. So that's pretty cool. It's one of those things where I saw these online and was like, oh, I would really like those for myself, obviously. Duh. But then I was like, well, I have a bunch of friends that are nerds that would really love these too, so I'll save them for their birthdays and stuff. So, but then I just noticed that the closing for this says, I have you now, and it's got a TIE fighter. I don't know what's under this foil. I'll look at that later. Anyway, way cool. Those were from a company called Theory 11, if you didn't catch it on the other one. So they're like an official licensed Star Wars playing card. They're more expensive than just a plain deck, but not like out of control. I don't think. And I bought several, like I said, just because the shipping was free if you spent a certain amount. All right, the other exciting thing today, super exciting stuff going on here. By the way, AP kids, I gave you guys feedback on your homework for this week. It's written feedback. I went into Canvas and scored all of those, so you can look at my feedback about your analysis of the student essay. 10th graders, yours, I pretty much gave you a quick score on how you did for this week. Some of you I left comments on. It just depends on what I saw. So my other exciting thing, my old blender died a while ago, like months ago, and I haven't had one. And I was like, okay, well, I haven't really used one, so maybe I don't really need one. But then my daughter loves to make smoothies because she thinks it makes her healthy or something. So I researched like different blenders, and this is not a product promotion, YouTube, just calm down, it's not. But I just looked up a bunch of different reviews. I love America's Test Kitchen. They usually do pretty good reviews. I don't know why I think teenagers will care about these details. I'm sure you're just laughing at me, but that's okay. So America's Test Kitchen does a lot of work to do their reviews and find what is the best of the best for equipment and also for recipes. And so I really like them. So I looked there at first, and then my husband looked at Consumer Reports and their thing. So we ended up replacing the old blender with this new one. So this arrived in the mail today, finally. No, it's not my Mother's Day present. My husband knows better than to do that. Yeah, he does. He knows not to give me those gender stereotype role gifts. Unless I ask for it specifically. Like, I'd really like some more bread pans because I love to bake. It's not like just because I'm the wife and mom. Okay, it's a professional blender, guys. I'm a professional. Okay. Crushing it has never been easier. Crush ice into snow at the touch of a button. Yes. Total crushing technology. Blender 1000. Yeah, something like that. I'm unpackaging it here, kind of. Ooh, you can make a creamy herb dip with it. That's great. You know what this means? Margaritas. No. Smoothies, guys. Smoothies. All right, there's that. Oh, that was the unveiling. That unveiling idea is brought to you by my husband. He thought it would be hilarious for me to unveil my blender to you guys and nerd out about it. So there you go. This is like fancier than I deserve, really. I feel like I'm like not professional with this, and I just don't know how I'm going to deal with it. All right, there's that. That's exciting stuff. This has to, good thing the recycling was picked up this morning. So I have to hold on to this for 2 weeks. Ugh. So that's the way life is. What else? All right. AP Kids. Next week, I'm sending you out 2 options for your assignments. One option is to, if you're taking the exam, planning on taking it, you're going to do some stuff to prepare yourself for the exam. So that's what Mr. Weeks and I prepared for you. And you have a response you're going to submit to Canvas about that process and any questions you still have about it. I also have some cheat sheets is what I call them. They're not really cheating because College Board came out and said you can use whatever materials you want this year on the exam. So I found some from some other AP teachers that I know from online that I think are really helpful. There are 3 different ones that kind of go over similar concepts, but I'm going to send all of them to you. So you have that for the exam. So you could, I would recommend just printing them off so you're not worried about being on your screen and all that stuff. Or even take a picture on your phone of them and then use your phone to reference. I think you can do that on the exam and flip back and forth. I just wouldn't want you to feel too stressed out flipping between your response and the other stuff. And I don't even know how much it's going to let you leave your screen when you're doing your write-up. I think you can. Don't waste your time looking stuff up online, though. That's just going to waste those precious minutes that you have. And I'll give you some information about how I would break down your time as well for the exam, the 45 minutes that you have. What else? So that will be the one option for the people taking the exam. Those of you not taking the exam, your assignment's going to be a little bit different. I have a news article that's really short for you to read and respond to, just to continue practicing those skills. So we will post both assignments on Canvas. You're only required to do the one that applies to you. So you just need to figure that out. Do the one that applies to your situation for AP. If you want to do both, go for it. I don't care. It's fine. It's great. It's wonderful. It makes me happy. It makes me excited. People love the stuff I create. English 10 kids, you guys are going to continue your adventure into argument. And next week is my favorite activity from argument that I've put together. It was inspired by one of my former coworkers who on Facebook posted a Disney Pixar bracket that he put together, he and his wife. And they had criteria for deciding winners. And I was like, this is the perfect thing for helping kids understand how to have really good reasoning for their arguments is through doing this. And they can do it with any topic they know a lot about. And I know kids are much more interested in things when it's something they're passionate about. So for you guys, you're going to be doing what the AP kids watching this probably did last year in 10th grade, which is the brackets activity. So this week, you're going to be focusing on that. You can do it by yourself or with a partner. If you do it with a partner, though, you have to figure out the technology to make that happen, where both of you can be in the presentation and help each other plan. And you also are taking the risk yourself of whether or not you and your partner can pull that off in time. So be cautious if you pick to work with a partner, because you're going to have to just deal with the consequences. And if that means cutting your partner loose and just doing it by yourself last minute, then I guess that's the way it goes. So, but it really is much better when you do have a partner. I just didn't feel like in this online environment that I could require that right now. So anyway, it's better with a partner because you have someone to bounce ideas off who's also an expert. And so you can also catch each other's errors and biases, especially if someone's just picking something that they think is better because it's just their favorite. So if you know anything about March Madness, it's also obviously stolen from that idea. But that's pretty much the college basketball tournament, and winners are decided by who wins the game. Whereas this one, you actually have to come up with reasons and justification to support who wins and moves on in your bracket. You've probably seen a bunch of these brackets online since then. They've been pretty popular the last few years, but I really love the activity. You guys actually have to end up recording yourself with your bracket on Flipgrid, and I have a video of how to share your screen And it's pretty easy to do that once you go in and just do it. If you have your bracket filled out, you just share your screen where your bracket's at, and then you just talk about it and record your explanations. If you do it with a partner, it just makes it more complicated. You'll probably have to use another program like Zoom to record your meeting together to talk about it and sharing your screen. But it's definitely doable if you know the tech. So I look forward to those next week, because you also have to reply to each other on those. You have to look at other people's bracket presentations and reply to those. And I'll be looking forward to seeing what you guys come up with. The key is to have fun with it, but also be practicing really good argument skills, that you actually have solid reasons to support why you picked what you did as an overall winner for whatever topic you pick. So more information on that will be coming to you guys on either Sunday night, Monday morning, and you'll have the rest of the week to work on it, and I'll have your due dates in there. So it's Friday. Yay, we made it through another week. And the very last thing, you know, I always do. This is the only like tradition I can keep up with on this program, you know, high quality writing going on here. It's called Mrs. Thomas Gathers a Bunch of Stuff and Brings Them to the Camera and Just Talks. You couldn't tell that, could you? Okay, so I'm going to pick one randomly, looking off into the sun. Ow, my eyeballs. Okay, pick one. Okay, this one says sudden confrontation, which sounds really bad at first, but it's not. Trust me, just wait for it. Sudden confrontation with a huge expanse of gentle hills and clusters of old trees. This is like when I imagine you're just going through one thing, one scenery, and you suddenly like turn a bend or go over the rise, or you're just coming over the rise and dipping back down and seeing something like this. Oh, reminds me of all the pictures of Scotland and stuff. And someday I'm going to go there. That's like one of my dreams. I want to go there. That makes me happy. I love nature. I love old trees. I love the old growth forests around here. I'm so grateful that we have those. I love all the greenery. I just tell people from Idaho about, you know, it's very brown in Idaho. Think of Eastern Washington. Eastern Washington's very similar to where I grew up. Very dry, but you get all four seasons. But yeah, you got the high desert. And when I would come visit this area of Washington, I was just always amazed at how green it was. It's like my eyes would be in overload. Now that I've lived here for years, I'm used to it, but there are still moments where during those certain seasons where it's at its peak that I still get wowed by nature, that I still go, I just can't believe how green it is. I just can't believe how green it is. And my mom, when she visits, and my other family members, when we've taken them out in nature, just on a simple drive from our house to the grocery store, and they're like, I can't believe all the trees. And the last time I remembered really feeling that before I visited the Pacific Northwest was when I went back to New York and nannied for my sister. And the trees there that closed over the roads back there, these little lanes that you would drive around her town. She didn't live in New York City. She lives out in the suburbs near Connecticut. And I just remember I was like 18 years old and living in Idaho my whole life, and visited a few places, but never lived somewhere for a long period of time. And I'd never been back east like that. And I just remember being like, it's kind of claustrophobic at first as well, because I was used to Idaho where it's so open that you can find where you want to go a lot of the time just by driving and seeing it. Whereas in New York, and now I see that here in Washington, because of all the vegetation, you don't see the store's sign until you've already passed it. Whereas in Idaho, you can see it like half a mile ahead. You can see that sign and you're fine. And it's because it's just much more open, because the trees, we just don't have it like this in that area of Idaho. Further north in Idaho, it's much greener, much more like here, but still gets more of the seasons than we get here in the Seattle area. McCall, Idaho is beautiful. One of my favorite places to visit, just north of Boise. Very touristy now, though. They have a big ski resort that was built there at Tamarack, which is technically in Donnelly. but lots of vacation homes there and people with way more money than me. But it's nice to go visit there, get out with nature. But they also have lots of pine trees, but it's different than here. Like here, there's so much underbrush, there's so much vegetation beneath the trees that it's crazy. Like between the moss and the lichen and and all the flowers, just and the ferns. The ferns here are out of control. It's just beautiful. So, but whereas in Idaho, it's a lot more of the ponderosa pines and not a lot of undergrowth there. I mean, it's pretty clear underneath them, like where you see clear to the dirt and you see their pine needles under there. So, anyway, I've been talking too long about nature and trees. What's wrong with me? All right, we got a blender because I'm mixing it up today. Get it now? Ha ha ha. I could also mix up the cards. Ha ha ha. Get that? Okay, you're done with me. It's Friday. Thanks for hanging in there. Look forward to next week. And AP kids, keep pushing through, keep pushing through. We're right to the finish line for the exam. I will tell you that after that, we are gearing up to study a great classic book that is so impressive to me because the author wrote it when she was like 19 years old. 19. And during a time when not a lot of women were taken seriously as writers, and a lot of them wrote under pseudonyms, so fake names. In fact, when she published her work, some people tried to accuse her of having her husband write it, that he really wrote it and put it under her name for some reason. So we're going to be reading this work, and it is very different stylistically than other things you've read, but it's a pretty fast read, and it has a lot of things we can talk about, lots of really great themes. And I mentioned it earlier this year. Some of you have asked me about if we're going to do it or not. The answer is yes. Mr. Weeks and I are putting some stuff together. We want to make it incredibly engaging with the activities we have you do. We have some great videos we found lined up to go along with it. So if you need to know what it is, for some reason you want to order the book, it's Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Here's the key. Do not get the cheapest version you can on Amazon if you want to get a paperback. That one I found was missing stuff from the beginning. There's like a little snippet at the beginning it was missing. And the pages were just really weird and how the paragraphs were broken up. So some of my kids got that last year. It's like a 99-cent version. Avoid that. It's worth spending the $2.99 or $3.99 for the paperback that has everything you need. However, you don't have to buy it. It's available online for free. I have it for free through Actively Learn that I'll open up to you guys, but there's also other versions out there. I'm sure some people in class would know exactly how to get some awesome free ones that you could put on like a Kindle Paperwhite if you have that. But I also found, and this one was really exciting, Audible's been putting out some free audiobooks during this closure, and one of them is Frankenstein. So what you'll find is the book is way different than what Hollywood has done to the book and the characters. That's one of the most exciting things for me in reading it and rereading it is just how much more there is to the story, and it's not a monster story. It is, but it isn't. So I'm really excited for that. It's a book that's going to challenge your reading level and your vocabulary. You're also going to learn about just a different style of writing and read a book from this amazing female writer who at 19, I still can't get over that, 19 years old, not much older than you guys, publishes a book that becomes this classic that's influential and has been influential for hundreds of years. So anyway, I look forward to that and have a great weekend. And I will be emailing you guys your assignments either Sunday night or Monday morning. So make sure you email me if you have any questions. Just make sure you do that long before the assignments due. I usually hate to get a flood of emails on Thursday and Friday because I'm busy grading and marking attendance. So email me early, check those things early, and find if you have any questions early on. I'm going to be writing a grad school paper this weekend because I'm finishing up my last assignment for my current class and internship. 6 graduate credits. Oh my gosh. It's been crazy. I did a presentation last week. I don't know what my grade is on it yet. I hope it's good. But I have to write a huge paper this weekend. I should have started it probably a couple of weeks ago. Sound familiar? Yeah, well, I'll have it in by the time it's due, and it's going to be magical. By the way, last bonus thing before I leave. I know I said I was leaving. Bonus thing for AP kids. You'll love this. I was writing a reflection response for my grad school class, and I'll be honest, I was a little short on the length, I felt. It was like barely under 2 pages, and she said it was supposed to be 2 pages, no more than 3. So I'm like, okay, I've already kind of said everything I need to say or want to say. I could add some more examples here. I don't really want to add the fluff of like extra adjectives that kids do or whatever, replacing words. So I was like, you know what? I didn't really write an introduction for this because for a lot of those reflections, you just jump right into your response. I was like, I'm going to write an actual introduction. For my hook, this is what you're going to love. Because it was reflecting on our project, our peers' projects, and our own for the history of literacy education. Well, it's about one of my key reflection points was about learning that the importance of learning about the past is so we know what not to repeat and know what we should repeat. So guess which book I referenced in my hook? You got that right, The Great Gatsby. Yeah, I may have pulled in a little bit of Gatsby and him wanting to repeat the past and how he wanted to repeat the past because in his mind it was golden. And then there's that famous quote about how those who don't know the past are destined to repeat it, or it's much more negative than that. I'm going to get the wording wrong. I used the exact quote on my paper, but it was the two different ideas, one being a very positive thing about the past and the other one being very negative, that like if you don't know the past, you're doomed to repeat it. And so my point was that sometimes it depends on what happened in the past. There's the golden and the grotesque. And the key is to know the difference so that we don't repeat the grotesque, but replicate the golden and keep that in mind, but continue moving forward. So thought you'd appreciate that. I don't know if my professor will, probably not because she's not an English major, but she'll probably be annoyed and be like, this is what I get for having English teachers in my class, in my program. Who knows? We'll see. But she's pretty literate, so duh, it's a literacy program. Get it, guys? She's in charge of the whole department. Okay. All right. Well, have a fabulous weekend. Whoa, the wind is blowing. It's picking up. And stay safe. Email me if you have questions. Bye, guys. If I can find the button here today.